Hey, welcome. So I'm just leaving work. It's Saturday, but there is traffic everywhere. And I'm wondering, where are all these people coming from? At least I'm coming from work. I don't know where they're coming from and where they're going. And it's weird because this morning, too, there was a little bit more traffic than usual. Usually, every weekend when I'm driving to work, it's clean, the road is clear. But today, there was a little bit more than usual for a Saturday morning. Anyway, the main reason why I'm on here that you've probably seen by the title is to talk about the recent change that's happening here in the US. So, if you're keeping up with news, you've seen that the US has halted international visa interviews, and it doesn't matter which category you are in, F1, J1, all those have been halted. And I just wanted to talk about what this means for the US. Um, as future international students, that dream has been uh, diminished a little bit. I'll say we don't know when the US will lift this, but as at this moment, it's still on hold. But that is not only affecting future international students, and that's why I want to come here and talk about this as somebody in the healthcare sector. Let me tell a little bit about me. I am a mother, a wife, a nurse practitioner, and I work full time as a nurse practitioner. I have been in healthcare as a nurse and as a provider for the last hmm, 14, 15 years, 16. I don't know. I lost count. But since 2007, I started out as a CNA, and right now I'm working as a nurse practitioner. So, one thing I know based on my experience and in different areas I've worked in, a lot of international students or a lot of international immigrants. Let me put it that way. A lot of immigrants are in the healthcare sectors, ranging from CNAs, nurses, nurse practitioners, PAs, doctors. Yes, let me tell you, this is huge. And the first thing it's going to affect is the income for international students' revenue. So, one thing I know being an international student at some point is that the international students pay at least 2 to 3 times more than local students. So let's take an example. If local students are paying 250 per credit, international students will pay at least 500 US dollars per credit. And on top of that, there are extra charges that international students incur, which local students do not incur. The first thing is they are mandated to take international students' insurance, which is priced way higher than local students. So, what is this money used for? I was doing a little research because all that money I paid as an international student, I really didn't know what it was used for. But I found out that this money goes towards development of the schools, it goes towards scholarships. And let me tell you, very few international students get scholarships, by the way. A lot of them pay out of pocket, which is not cheap. So it goes towards development, scholarships. It helps pay for other activities within the campus. So, what that means is that a lot of these schools that admit international students won't have this extra money to use for these things, which means expenses are going to be cut down, which means a lot of students who get scholarships will probably not get these scholarships anymore. Some of the development projects which are carried out in these institutions will not be available anymore. So whether an international student or not, you are going to feel this impact as a student. And that means if the school has to keep up with its expenses, it has to raise tuition fees for other students. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but that's one of the potential ways of which they can make up for this lost revenue. The other thing is that international students are involved in several STEM projects, STEM products, STEM programs. Oh my goodness. Yes. So things like science, technology, engineering, mathematics. When you look at your institution where you are, at least where I am, I can tell you that a lot of the immigrants are in all these specialties. When I look at the people I work with, a lot of the registered nurses, the nurse practitioners, these are immigrants. And I can tell you that a good number of them probably came here as international students. And these are some of the labor that US will not have looking down the road, because international students will not be really available for that, to practice, to to get the education they need so they can at least provide the services they need to provide within the healthcare sector. The other thing is that a lot of medical doctors also come through different international students visa interviews, or let me say, I think it's the J1 visa. And a lot of them end up working in rural areas, of which not a lot of doctors who are US trained want to do. And this means most of the hospitals in those areas will probably not get the man labor they need. There's going to be fewer doctors. A lot of hospitals rely on residents for the services. Residents work up to 80 hours a week with very little pay. And what does that mean? If a hospital, let's say a bigger hospital like here in the Houston area, if they were to have 100 residents within a certain time frame, and out of these 100 residents, maybe 10 of them are international students. That means these 10 international students are not going to be available to provide the labor power needed, to provide the services needed. And that means there's going to be a delay in patient care. So there's a lot of changes that are coming up, but this one is what I really wanted to highlight. So if you're an international student who was looking forward to coming to the US, just know that things are not looking good, as um, the current leadership has put hold international visa interviews. So maybe it's time to explore other places. I know China put out that they are welcoming all the international students into their country. I've seen the Chinese education system, and I can tell you that it's one of those that are not well explored, yet they are one of the best. So there's still hope. US is not the last place somebody can ever come to. Besides, right now things are looking a little dusty, but always keep your eyes somewhere. If you have a potential, let it not go down the drain just because the US has put hold on certain things. Be warned and be encouraged that your dreams are still valid. You're smart. You have very great potentials. Just keep your eyes open, keep your mind open, and if you need be, always research other areas that are welcoming international students, that are offering the courses you really wanted to pursue. And in that case, you can still achieve your dreams. You can still work towards your goal as an individual, and even for your own benefit, for your own country, your own family. Above all, always trust Him who lives up high, and don't let anybody, and I mean anybody, bring you down. Thank you so much for joining me, and I do appreciate you. Please subscribe, and let's follow up in the next video. Till next time, peace out.